Zuckerberg, that guy should be in prison. He should be in a cell. Bill Gates, on a day that Bobby Kennedy gets, that Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, is ripping his face off in front of the world, you're going to have Bill Gates, Mr. Vaccine? What in the hell are we doing? Whoever set that dinner up should be perp walked out of the White House today.
Come see me on tour in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Irvine. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So you remember this, they had the big meeting at the White House with Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Apple, the head of Oracle, the head of Google. All these people are at the White House for a dinner, and they even put on a tie. Look at that. So Steve Bannon not happy with it. Here's what he said about it. Ready for this? They all got together and had a gang-ass kiss bukkake of sycophantism for the President of the United States. Hot action as they all took their turn giving him the glaze of praise. Anyway, that's why.
It was like a sports announcement.
It was a 70s porno. Okay, here we go.
Zuckerberg, that guy should be in prison. He should be in a cell. Bill Gates, on a day that Bobby Kennedy gets, that Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, is ripping his face off in front of the world, you're going to have Bill Gates, Mr. Vaccine? What in the hell are we doing? Whoever set that dinner up should be perp walked out of the White House today. Somebody's got to get control of this deal. Okay?
Yeah, hey, maybe Ghislaine cleared Zuckerberg's name like she did Trump and apparently Bill Gates. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe.
Move on.
So he's talking about that, and here's Bill Gates sitting right next to Trump and Melania, and J.J. Carroll says, what the F is going on in the Trump administration? Epstein is a hoax. One of the biggest ARPists on Epstein Island is sitting right next to the First Lady. Gates is talking about vaccines, and Trump just sits there. You want to hear it? Here it goes.
Well, I'm in the second phase of my career, giving away all the wonderful money that...
By the way, what's going on in your government? But when this guy says what the F is going on, it's the same thing that was going on in the previous administration, and the one before that, and the one before that. Okay, here we go.
Well, I'm in the second phase of my career, giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiple.
He's giving away his money? Really? To who? And how many Mossad spies are blackmailing Bill Gates? Those are my questions.
Yeah, I thought Jeffrey, committed slip and slide, and now we don't have to worry about that.
Here we go.
By a lot, but I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal. And my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas.
Whenever you hear innovation, it means billions of dollars into the pockets of oligarchs like Bill Gates, and everyone else gets. That's what he means by innovation. Innovation meaning like, you have to eat fake meat and live in a storage container and in a 15-minute city and eat bugs that hit you on the face, and you're not allowed to
water
travel.
From your own shit.
Yeah.
That's his other innovation.
Yeah, and mosquitoes are going to vaccinate you against your own will. That's against informed consent. This is innovation to him.
Yeah,
like vaccines or gene editing and.
So that's his new thing. He's doing his big innovation is vaccines. Now, it's a scam what Bill Gates does with vaccines. It's 100% scam. And RFK is going to explain it to you, but basically he took over the WHO, Bill Gates did, because he gives them billions of dollars, and then he controls it, and then they control all the countries in Africa because they control their health budgets, and then he makes them take these vaccines anyway. So, but let's remember,
but don't give him credit for his other thing, Common Core, the education system. All the liberals complain about, but aren't bright enough to put together. It's Bill Gates.
Oh, is that Bill Gates Common Core?
Yeah, that's why they have that, because Bill Gates and his ex-wife, for some reason, are not only vaccine experts, they're education experts.
Even though Bill Gates never graduated college, and he's not a doctor, he's not a teacher, he's not nothing. He's a guy who takes other people's work and claims it as his own. He's a monopolist.
He's just a very handsome man.
He's very handsome and in shape. He should be a health guru. Bill Gates on RFK. So here, let's remind people. So he's working in his whole thing is vaccines, right? He just said that. You want to hear him say it again? Here it is.
Giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal, and my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing and
vaccines and gene editing. College dropout, guy who'd never been in
like
that. So here's when. So if he's so into vaccines, listen to what he had to say about safety testing vaccines or having a commission to look into the safety of vaccines. Ready?
I never met Donald Trump before he was elected. There was a thing during the election where he and I were at the same place, and I avoided him.
Oh, boy, he's really got it singing a different tune today, isn't he? But let's listen.
Anyway, then he got elected, and so I went to see him in December. He asked me if vaccines weren't a bad thing, because he was considering a commission to look into ill effects of vaccines, and somebody, his name is Robert Kennedy Jr., was advising him that vaccines were causing bad things, and I said, no, that's a dead end. That would be a bad thing. Don't do that.
No, don't look into the safety of vaccines. That would be bad thing.
Well, that's not crazy on the face of it.
Why wouldn't you want to have a Senate or a congressional committee to look into the safety of vaccines? All they're going to find out is that they're safe and effective, right? And then it would give people more confidence to take the vaccines, and everybody would love vaccines. You'd sell even more vaccines. People would say the uptake would go through the roof. Am I right or am I wrong? Oh, no, that's not what would happen.
No, it'd be a bad thing
if people found out that vaccines aren't actually ever safety tested against a placebo. It would actually be a bad thing if people found out that there are no studies that show what happens when you give a kid 72 vaccines before he's 18. There are no studies. It would be a bad thing to find out that we're actually not safety testing these in the way that would make people comfortable.
I hope Russia hacks our vaccines.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? But that's what he's working on. Vaccines, bringing vaccines to everyone. And here's RFK Jr. to let you know the scam that Bill Gates has going with vaccines.
Gates has these incestuous relationships with Anthony Fauci that go back 20 years, where he's, paying Fauci, and they have all kinds of really corrupt financial entanglements with each other. He brought Fauci to his house in 2000, and his $189 million house in Seattle, brought him into the den, sat him down, and said, "I want to have a partnership with you."
Whoa.
The way that Fauci explains it is that Fauci would develop the drugs and then pass them on to the drug companies, to Merck, Sanofi, Gilead, Johnson & Johnson. Gates would then guarantee markets in Africa through his control of WHO.
Oh, wow.
Those companies don't want to give vaccines to Africa because it's very uncertain. Botswana has a government this year that says, yeah, we want them, and not next year. And Gates, because he controls WHO, he controls those countries, because WHO pays for their health ministries and supplies all their HIV medications, and they have to do what WHO tells them to do.
So do you see how that works? So I've showed you videos before where the head of the WHO says we have to go around with our hat in our hand asking for donations to run the WHO. And whoever donates the most money gets to tell us what we do. That's almost a direct quote from the former head of the WHO. So Bill Gates is like, oh, I know. I'll be the biggest donor to the WHO through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Gavi. which is another vaccine NGO that he set up. So now he controls the WHO. So then the WHO controls all the health ministries, funds all the health ministries for all the countries in Africa. The WHO says you have to take these vaccines. Bill Gates has this perfect scam going. It's a scam, and he does it through Dr. Fauci. And they have these financial relationships. Hey, you develop the vaccines, you push them out to these companies that I'm invested in. I also own the WHO. The WHO makes all these countries take it. You see the scam he has? Okay.
He can require those countries to buy the vaccines from these companies, and he then is invested in the companies. And by the way, Gates has no pretension that he gives a crap about public health.
I thought he's all about public health. He just wants to help people. Why would you say he doesn't want to help people? Oh, what else is he invested in?
His other investments are in tobacco companies, in processed foods, in Coca-Cola, in Cargill, in Monsanto, Philip Morris, in Kraft, cheese, and then all the oil companies, which he owns stakes in virtually all of them. So he's not a guy who cares about climate or who cares about public health. He's a guy who cares about control. Listen, you saw him every day. He was on TV, Dr. Gates, as a public health expert, telling you what was his message. You got to shut down, you got to lock down, you got to wear a mask, and it will never end until you take your vaccine, which I'm making for you.
Here's how his vaccine program worked in Africa.
I'll do it. Let me just give you one quick other example. The most popular vaccine in the world is the DTP vaccine, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. We got rid of it in this country because it was causing injuries, brain injuries, severe brain injuries, or death to 1 in every 300 children. We used it in the 80s, and that's why there was all this litigation against vaccine companies that precipitated the passage of the Vaccine Act that then gave them immunity from liability. But in Europe, they don't use it. In America, they don't use it. But we give it to 161 million African children a year. So Bill Gates asked
just like with the oral polio vaccine. They outlawed it here in the United States. They don't use it here in the Western world. They still give it to kids in Africa. You know the number one cause of polio in Africa? The polio oral vaccine.
Is that why they didn't want to take the COVID vaccine, Jimmy?
Maybe. Hey,
I feel slighted by that they didn't even test it on Africans first.
How did the people in Africa do without their COVID vaccine? I wonder how they did.
I guess.
Turns out they did great.
The government to support that program and said it saved 30 million lives. The Danish government said, show us the data. He wasn't able to. So they went to Africa.
So he wanted to do this vaccine program, and the Danish government says, show us the data. He didn't have any data. So the Danish government does their own study of what been going on for 30 years with the vaccines in Africa. And what did they find out?
And did their own studies. And they looked at 30 years of DTP data. And what they found shocked them all. They found that girls who got the DTP were dying at 10 times the rate of unvaccinated girls. But they were dying of things that nobody had ever associated with the vaccine. They were dying of diphtheria, of anemia, malaria, bilharzia, pulmonary disease, respiratory disease, and pneumonia. And nobody noticed for 30 years that it was the vaccinated girls and not the unvaccinated girls who were dying. And what had happened is these girls were not dying of diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. The vaccine had protected them against those, but it had also ruined their immune systems. And they were unable to defend themselves against other just minor diseases that other kids who had hardy immune systems were able to fend off. So that's why you need these long-term studies. And that's why I'm worried that we don't do that here in the United States.
Boom. And nobody knows, even though he says this on a television show, it doesn't get repeated anywhere, and it goes in one ear and out the other of the people who are even watching it. And nobody knows any of this stuff.
I hate him for wanting to look into if the vaccines work or not. Listen, I know it's a scam and this and that, but I don't believe it's just a scam. You can't be this screwed up unless it's intentional. It's not even possible to be this fucked up unless you intended for it to be like that. So the scam money part is just a bonus because that ugly ass lizard dude wants to make you drink water from your own shit. He wants to have your kids educated in some way where they can't learn. Like everything he does is like some revenge for, I don't know, they made him eat bugs at camp or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but that's how these nerds are. They're contemptuous and hateful.
And that's the scam. And it's good to see. I was surprised to see Steve Bannon go off on this.
Yeah, me too.
I was surprised to see Steve Bannon go off on that.
How are we going to go to war with China if we don't have the best AI, Steve?
He is hawkish. Steve is a little hawkish on his pivot to the Pacific. And
Does anybody like no more wars? Not one of them. I thought that Trump was. That was the big that was the selling point of it.
Yeah. Big, the Mr. Peace changed the Department of Defense to Department of War. So, but
awesome job.
What everybody should do is pivot to seeing a Jimmy Dore show in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Microplastics are infiltrating every part of our lives. Scientists estimate we now consume a credit card's worth of plastic every single week through our food, our water, and even the air we breathe. One study found plastic particles in 100% of human lung samples. Nobody's safe from overexposure. It gets worse. These plastics just don't sit in your body. They cross the gut lining, they leach into your blood, and disrupt everything. They've been shown to alter gut bacteria, suppress your immune response, and increase your risk for neurodegenerative disease, metabolic disorders, and cancer. Some plastic toxins like BPA and phthalates mimic hormones, interfere with fertility, and damage DNA. Even if you eat clean or avoid packaged foods, you're still being exposed. You can't opt out, but your gut can help you fight back. Kimchi One from Brightcore Nutrition is a potent ally in this toxic world. It's packed with over 900 probiotic strains unique to kimchi and proven to break down BPA, helping you detox from the inside out. It doesn't just support digestion, it helps protect your cells, your brain, your hormones, and your future. Your body was never designed to handle plastic, but your gut was designed to protect you. You just have to give it the right tools. Right now, you can get 25% off with my code DORE, D-O-R-E, at the link below. For an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore and get up to 50% off and free shipping. The number, 888-253-0418. Come see me on tour in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Irvine. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.